Welcome back to the Art of Living. For some people, it's what you say that determines how you live.
Emily Kimball, make it happen.
At 75, Emily Kimball lives her slogan. She has cycled across the United States, hiked the Appalachian Trail, and overcome obstacles that would stop most in their tracks. So how did she do it? She just had to switch some definitions around.
I think our culture has sort of played on youth so much, and there's so much ageism about growing older, and there's all these medicines to make you younger, and young is such a value that I think older people don't realize that they have this 20 or 30 more years of healthy living that they can create a new life in, really. You know, they can decide what they want to do within the context of their finances and their situation, and they can create a whole new life.
And Emily's new life began while she was still working.
I was working with the Chesterfield County Parks and Recreation as their outdoor recreation manager. I was getting burned out, and so I asked for leave of absence, and everyone said, they won't give you leave of absence. That's a stupid thing to do. And they said, you know, right now your boss thinks you're indispensable, and you be gone, and he's going to find out you're not, and someone else is going to, you know, blah, blah, blah. But I said, well, I don't know. I need a break. I took off and did a bike trip in New Zealand and in Ireland, England. I actually took 9 months off.
More than life-changing, the trip redefined something for Emily.
Well, it told me my future. It told me what I wanted to do in retirement. I wanted to do bike touring, and it convinced me that I needed to retire at an age where I could still do bike touring. I set a goal of saving $20,000, and then I was going to go across America on my bicycle, or hike the Appalachian Trail. Those were my two goals I was going to do in this 2-year period with this $20,000. See, a lot of people say they can't afford to go for their dreams. Now, I don't buy that. I mean, there are ways that you can do things. In fact, I put out a little booklet, a resource guide for aging adventurers, which has a lot of ideas for how to travel cheaply. If you don't focus on a goal, if you aren't clear about where you want to go, you're not going to get there.
Emily had a goal in mind, but she did not have a fan club.
I had to be very determined because there were all these naysayers that were telling me, you know, you're the slowest biker in the club. You're never going to get across America. And you've got osteoporosis. How are you going to hike the trail and carry that backpack? And, you know, you're too old, and you're this, and you're that. There are a lot of naysayers. So that's why you really have to have, you have to be clear on your goal. You have to be determined and not listen to the people that tell you what you can't do.
And she did just that.
I started the trail, and I had a tremendously heavy pack. And about 6 weeks into it, my foot hurt. My foot was really hurting, and I was limping, and I had to get off the trail for a few days. And the doctor said I really could go back in a year, but he really wouldn't recommend going back right then. So, you know, here was another dream squashed. I was going to do it all in 6 months.
Emily's dream wasn't shattered. She just had to go home to regroup.
I was just devastated. Sitting there in my yard with my foot up, I'm in my purple cast, reading the autobiography of Gloria Steinem. I can still remember it. And a light bulb just went off in my head, and I said, Emily, you can do this a different way. You can become a section hiker.
Finding a different way to do her dream, Emily realized she did not have to do the entire trail at once. She could do it in little pieces.
I mean, I had, you know, it's 2,168 miles, and I had like 568 left when I think the last time I went out, and I was going to turn, I finished 10 days before I turned 71, and I started when I was 61, I guess, 60 maybe.
It may have taken her a little longer, but she completed her goal, and she attributes that to one thing.
You have to be determined. If you're an easy giver-upper, it's not going to work. And if you listen to the naysayers, you know. And as I said, the naysayers or everything. I even had one woman, she said, I'm so worried about you, a friend. When you come back from these trips, she said, you're going to be so broke. And I said, oh, you know, I can always work at McDonald's or something. I'm not proud. You know, I've changed careers and lived on very little money. I wasn't worried about that. I wanted to do my adventures. But she said, I see you on Broad Street, which is in downtown Richmond, where all the homeless hang out. And she said, I see you as a bag woman. So I looked at her and I said, well, Lou, if you walk by, throw in $1.
When she is not on the hiking trail, Emily is in demand on the public speaking trail, starting her own business called theagingadventurer.com.
How many of all you people out there honestly believe that if you exercise and are physically active, your life will be extended? You will live longer. The main message is attitude. How you're going to approach your hearing loss, how you're going to approach your osteoporosis, how you're going to approach not being able to breathe. I think the reaction I get is that people are inspired. And they don't want to bike across America or hike the trail. I don't expect them to. But they find other things in their lives that they've been thinking about. Maybe they're going to move out and do it. And I want to inspire them to get out there and try some new things, take some risks. I want people to realize the potential they have within them to make their life wonderful.